Good morning. Here's the technical analysis behind today's watch list. We'll go from the cheapest stock to the most expensive, or something like that anyways. XNNH, I put this out on watch Friday. Slight increase in volume here. Still not liquid enough to trade in and out of. If I do anything, it'll be around $5,000 or less. What I'm looking for is 10 to 20% return in the short term, hopefully 20%. You can see resistance here at 48. I'd say the next level of resistance would be right here around 55, and then of course the recent high around 62. So plenty of upside opportunity. Basically what we're looking at is bid and ask around 42 to 45. So the bid is still, I believe, at least as of Friday, around 42 cents. If I do anything, it'll be sit on the bid. Either at 42 or even below 42. If it looks like it's just going to run, well, then I might just, call it quits on this one. I don't think that's the case, though. The only time it's had good volume was way back here, and I believe that was the last time they had earnings, but I'm not sure. You'll have to check. That's in the middle of February. So again, overall goal would be right here around 55, 42 to 55. That would make for a great trade. That's XNNH. Let's just take a look at the 1 year chart real quick. All right, so you can see where the price action is. See how that works? This stock is a very tiny market cap, so it'll move quick if it gets volume. All right, that's the 1 year chart, and that's what I'm looking for right there in the short term. Small position though, like I said, lack of volume. VCST, same thing, good company. Go to 3 year chart on this one. You can see the resistance in around 42 to 44. All right, a break of 42 to 44 in the short term could make for a really nice move if there's something to substantiate the break and bring in volume like this. So that's what I'm watching for. You can see how a small stock like this with a tiny market cap can really fly over the course of a couple of days if it gets some good attention. This is real light volume, so I consider this accumulation here. People are picking up shares and it's making higher lows each day. I wouldn't get too excited yet, but this one is on my watch. I'd say that if it breaks, I don't know, 42, then it really moves up my watch list. And then if it starts to challenge 44, I consider it as a short-term momentum trade. Again, you can see how light the volume has been. Very sporadic. Same thing as the previous pick. Probably no more than $5,000 in this trade for me. If I do go that direction. LQMT, excuse me, my allergies are going this morning. LQMT is one that I will continue to keep on watch. Don't let this hammer fake you out here. There's still no liquidity in this stock. I've been watching it for quite some time. If you read the blog post, you can see that support was strong through there. It only dipped through there twice in December and in January. Now it's dipped through there again. A lot of people ask me why I wasn't picking the stock up here when it was creating a good shelf, and I indicated because of liquidity. When a stock doesn't have liquidity, it only takes a couple of bored sellers to exit the stock and it'll break that support area. So support's only as good as the amount of buyers that are coming into the stock. This is a strong company, fair share of problems like any penny stock, but they do have a deal with Apple and they have a deal with Swatch. And they have potential to really move if any of those companies, especially Apple, discloses what they're going to use liquid metal for. So this one remains on my watch list. I don't care how far it falls. I'm just trying to find a point in time where Apple's going to announce something and I can get in. I'd say support now is here around 42 cents. Hopefully maybe a catalyst comes into play around 42 cents. If not, light support, probably pretty good support here at 32. You can see that's because this is where the run started. It's also a previous high from back in here. The run started, and this is where it touched down after the big run. So my guess is what we're seeing here is a shakeout of some of the buyers from this rumor. I believe it was a rumor on news with Apple. Again, they have a deal with Apple, but this right here was a rumor that Apple was going to use the technology in a particular product. I believe, I'm not 100% sure. That caused the stock to move up about 30 cents. So this one will fly big time if and when Apple does disclose what they're using the technology for. So I'd look for a triple-digit gain on this one, and during that run, I'd probably try and sell for 20, 30, 40% gain. You can see how quickly it moves back in here, tiny market cap. So that's LQMT. But again, this is a good lesson for everybody. Just because it looks like it's making good support at a price action range, if the volume doesn't support it, steer clear, because just a couple of sellers can cause it to go down 5 to 10 cents and possibly even further. I wouldn't be surprised if this touches down on 32. Hopefully the company will come up with some good news before then. That's LQMT. JMBA I put on watch last week. I didn't want to chase it. I believe I put it on watch in through here. I really didn't want to chase it from 230 to 2. I mean, I would have loved to have been in 230 to 250, but my concern was grabbing it right here would have been chasing. So I just kept it on watch. They had good news, and it continued. So you can see how it busts across this resistance area. Now it'll have a little channel between there and the recent price action highs here, 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 and here. You know, get through there, and it could probably move up to the 280 range pretty easily. So JMBA continues to be a trade on watch for me. I'd like to get 30 cents out of this one if I could. Volume picking up on Friday is a good sign, so it continues to stay on my watch list. I'm just, hesitant on my entry with this one as a result of liquidity and my ability to get in and out with a big position. But that's JMBA. Let's see, GTN. This is a new one. They have earnings coming up. I think it could be a good play, possibly up to this range right here if it gets fiery. Maybe right there is more realistic, around the 350 to 360 range. You can see that it'll probably have a stop here at 311. So the goal is to trade it between 280 and 310. This should be light resistance in through here, but it is the $3 range, so it'll also be mental resistance. So possibly only 20% room to move. My goal is to watch and see if it pulls back to 250 heading into earnings. If it pulls back to 250 and starts to creep back up, I might grab some shares. This is a run-up prior to earnings, and the run-up could end this week or it could keep going. But it's definitely one to keep on watch now that it's broken through here. This is what you call an ascending triangle, where it's making higher lows, and you have price action high with a trend line. You trough, 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 and trough. I did a video chart on GTN, so you can check that out. LRAD also on the watch list. This is a tiny market cap for a $3 stock, 82 million. I lost on this one previously, unfortunately. They already announced what they're expecting with regard to earnings. I believe around 15 million, but don't quote me. You'll have to check that. They announced that there. You can see the large spike in volume. I tried to trade this one successfully here on a breakout and failed since it's pulled back to basically where it started the run-up phase prior to that news. I'm guessing this is run-up on anticipation of news. Profit taking right here, bull bear struggle, people playing it on the news like me, and other people taking profits from trading it in around the $2 range. Now that it's settled around 260, I'll probably look for a 260 stop loss and a trade between 270 and 310, and possibly a breakout up here, depending on whether or not there's anything they didn't disclose here that could come out in their conference call coming up soon. Moving right along, I believe the last one is VICL. VICL is a biopharma. They're risky. You're talking about earnings coming up. Additionally, you're talking about FDA rulings. But I think this stock could potentially pay big in the long haul. Here's the 3-year chart. What I'm looking for is a break above the $4 range, and I think that there's $1 to be had on this one between where it is now and resistance up here in the 550 range. So anything from 376 to 476 would be fantastic. You can kind of see a shelf right there where it had dropped off and then tried to work back up. So my thought is, play the momentum. It broke out to a new high right here at the 320 range. Recovered this gap obviously recently. So I would say watch this. If it gets past here, possibly $1 play between 4 and 5. That's what I'm looking for. A lot of good news on this company right now, but a lot of it is speculation based on clinical trials. So have a look at the company. There's some good articles on some of the websites like Seeking Alpha, etc., and we'll see how it plays out. That's what I'm looking at to start this week. Of course, it all could change on the fly, and I could pick up a stock that's not on the watch list. It's just going to matter how the market plays out. I'm going to do a tutorial now on equity feed, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. Look for it in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Good luck trading today, everybody.